Okay, I'm going to walk you through your sort of second test animation. We're going to review your squash and stretch. And we did this it's sort of a version in Blender, but since you're now sort of hand drawing these, I'm going to review this in both Brush Ninja and also in Flip-a-Clip. So here we go. So in Brush Ninja, let's just do new. If you do have a device that you can download Flip-a-Clip, I do suggest you try it. It's a little easier than Brush Ninja. Brush Ninja, you're going to have to do a little more on your own in terms of drawing. So I think if you can work Flip-a-Clip, go ahead and download it. If not, again, this works just fine. I'm going to go into the settings here though, and I'm going to change this frames per second to 12. And also, I'm going to get rid of the hashtag. Don't need that. And then we're going to start drawing. And let's go to your drawing tool. And you can kind of just do this as best as you can. I know some of you are going to be drawing with fingers. I have a stylus, but use your tools, erase, undo, copy, do whatever you're going to do. Just to make this easier, let's get a big brush to start with. And you can just use that to kind of draw your first shape. We're going to just make a bouncing ball, so we need a circle. And you want a decent size. I would say right around here is good. We'll start with that. And so that's frame 1. Again, you have 12 frames per second. So I'd say probably you want to get down here to the bounce around frame 7 or 8. So we'll aim for that. Now, one thing we want to, again, review here is the squash and stretch. And so the size of this ball that you first draw is going to be important. All right. One thing I'll also do, I'll make sure this is both turned on. These are, again, your, is going to let you see the frame before and the frame after. And for the second frame, I'm just going to copy this because we're not going to change any, we're not going to squash just yet. So I have a copy there, and then I'll just use the move tool to move it down. And again, you'll see sort of the ghost of the previous frame. Now for the top of this fall here, we want to keep it close because remember it's going to kind of start slow and then it's going to get speed as it falls. So we'll start to separate it. And that'll give us a little more of a realistic motion. Now on frame 3, we're going to draw this again. So we'll add a blank frame. And I'll go back to my drawing tool. This time though, I'm going to stretch this out a bit. So this is the first sort of stretch. Again, use your brush size if it helps. You don't want to stretch too much. And remember, you want to sort of keep the same amount of sort of mass. So think about how it's going to look as you stretch it. If you stretch it out vertically, then again it's going to push in. So keep that in mind. Okay, and actually for frame 4, I'll just make a copy of this. And what I'll do is I'll move it down using this move tool here. Now again, as it's sort of falling, it's going to gain some speed. So here we'll drop it down a little further. And then I'm going to edit this. So I'll just shave down some sides with the eraser. And then I'm going to add some back in on the length. Just because, again, we're going to stretch a little more. That's pretty good. Again, do your best here. It's okay if there's, if they're not perfect circles. You can also outline this instead of coloring the whole thing in. But again, do your best, use your tools. All right, so there's frame 4. And next we're going to have our sort of impact. So I'll make another copy. And then I'll bring that down. And this is going to be where it hits. And I don't want to go all the way to the bottom. So I'll keep it right around there. And then I'll just make a new blank frame. And this is going to be a squash. So once it hits, it's going to squash. Again, you want to kind of keep the same amount of material. I can adjust it here. And I will just erase a little bit. It's a little big. And there's our squash. On impact, I'm going to just press play just to see it. You can also make adjustments as needed. All right, that looks not too bad. So we did 6 frames. I might go in here and actually I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a copy in between, and I'm going to adjust 4. So I want this to slow down a bit, so I'm going to put another frame in here. And I'll also adjust 5. All right, it's a little better in the motion. Okay, and now we're going to kind of animate the up. Now, what's nice about this is we already have sort of these frames. If you want, you can kind of copy them and move them over. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to kind of use the kind of the ghosts here. Your onion skins, as they're called. And I'm just going to copy those. So frame 8, I'm going to do the same as frame 6. So I'm just going to copy this stretch again. Use your undos. And edit as needed. Again, you want to kind of keep your mask the same. And then again, we're going to go back up. Let's see where 5 is. One more time. Okay. Let's mess that up. And I think I made a copy there, so I'll just move it. Now, as you kind of go back up, I do want to kind of stretch again, so I'll kind of resize this. And do one more. Now you can always go ahead and adjust these as needed. New frame. Now as we get back towards the top, I'm going to turn those back on so I can see them. You want to kind of go back to the circle. So that is frame 10. I'm going to do 11. 11 is going to be the same here as the first frame. But I'm also going to add in another frame where I go a little bit higher. And that's going to give us sort of a nice solid, or nice smooth arch at the top. So let's see what that looks like. All right, so we got our squash down here at the bottom. We got a nice soft peak at the top, and we got our stretch in the middle. So this one is 12 frames exactly. You could probably get away with that. 13 might make it a little smoother. 14, obviously, I wouldn't do more than that. But that is gonna be that. You can dress this up as much as you want or as little as you want. Well, you shouldn't go any simpler than I did. But again, this is just sort of a refresher on that. So try to get a smooth bounce out of this. And again, dress it up as you need. Hit save here. And then we are ready to export. Again, we can just do animated GIF. And then you will be ready to download it. There it is. And then you can turn that in, and you're good to go.